A successful remake of Cheers looks more doubtful than ever, and that's because of the revival of Frasier being cancelled after 2 seasons. Until a few months ago, Cheers was simply a beloved and acclaimed American comedy from the 80s, doing the syndication rounds on daytime TV across the world. And given what's happened to Frasier following the lukewarm reception of its remake, it's probably best that things stayed that way. Last October, it was announced that, a British sitcom writer named Simon Nye was going to adapt Cheers for UK viewers. Never mind that the sitcom's premise feels somewhat dated and done to death, with How I Met Your Mother, It's Always Sunny, as well as Britain's own two shows, 2 pints of Lager and a Packet of Crisps, and Early Doors, all remaking elements of Cheers during recent decades. A new British version of Cheers also seems completely at odds with the groundbreaking comedy dramas to have come out of the UK in recent years, like, Sex Education and Baby Reindeer. When Frasier returned with new episodes in 2023, its first iteration was still one of the highest grossing TV shows in the world, via Collider, thanks to heavy syndication by broadcasters and streaming platforms alike. The show's witty dialogue and lighthearted storylines were still pulling in audiences, and reviving it appeared to be a risk-free banker for any platform. Yet, the new Frasier had been cancelled after 2 seasons, and an ignominious fate suffered by likes of, oh my god, they mentioned Joey. Yo, I've always wanted to make a video about Joey. The Friends spinoff, the only Friends spinoff. One day. Oh, one day. Anyways, Frasier's fate demonstrates how streaming platforms are becoming increasingly trigger-happy, with even shows considered safe bets a couple of years ago no longer safe. This is the worst possible environment for a development of a British Cheers remake, which, far from being something a streaming platform could bank on, has the potential to be an unmitigated disaster from the start. Just look at previous attempts to remake the classic show in Spanish and Irish. They both only lasted 1 season, which I didn't even know there was a Spanish version of Cheers or an Irish version of Cheers. This is not good. There's also a problem with the British, with them trying to do this. They would have to revamp the show's entire cast and characters for a UK audience. At least Frasier had the opportunity to bring in beloved characters back to the previous setting. The failure of its showrunners to get David Hyde Pierce back as Niles in the reboot was probably a major factor in the series getting canceled at this stage, because Niles is arguably the original show's most celebrated character. And you have to remember, I'm sidetracking here, because we have to remember that Niles didn't exist because Frasier said he didn't have a brother and his dad was dead. Then the Frasier show came out, and Frasier has a brother who's also a psychiatrist, and his dad's alive. He was a cop. I already made a video about Frasier, so I'm not really gonna get into it again. But if I had to make another one, it would be about Niles and Daphne and how they're really good. Like, it was the perfect pacing for them. And I was really rooting for them. I didn't watch the show. I know what you're gonna think, Amy, not again. I watched clips of them, and I was like, wow, I love them. Anyways, with all that in mind, a new version of Cheers would seem to stand little chance of succeeding, especially if it can bring back any of the original show's cast or characters. Also, they're gonna be in the UK, I don't know how that would work. And despite its success, the American adaptation of The Office shows just how difficult bringing a sitcom across the Atlantic can be. It's important to remember, too, that there were only 4 years between David Brent and Michael Scott first appearing on the small screen, whereas the British version of Sam Malone would arrive more than 30 years after his Bostonian counterpart last appeared in a new episode. And also, The Office, the American version, included one brief cameo from Ricky Gervais, which was wholly inconsequential to the series. And that's almost certainly more than Simon Nye will be getting from Ted Danson if Cheers makes it to Britain. As it stands, that if looks like a big one.